Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be talking about what I believe you should be doing with your money if you're under 20 years of age and where it can set you up into the future. So please like and subscribe to my channel. Please comment below if you've got any questions or anything you'd like me to analyse. Please do your own research, as I'm not a finance advisor, so you'll need to take it as not as advice. So just make sure you're doing your own research. Also, I did make an 82% return on my money last year, so it's sort of something that, it may be your gateway to get to making massive returns. I also grab your free stock in the link below from Stake if you fund the account within the first day using my referral code. My latest buy recommendation is YALA. It's come up pretty cheap earlier on during the week, so hopefully you bought in. I did add significantly to my portfolio, under $25 per share. And I did move on with Neo, unfortunately. So, look, it's not really a bad thing or a good thing, it just is what it is. I did make over 3 times return on my money, even though it did drop as well earlier on during the week. Okay, let's get into it. Cheers, guys. So today we'll be talking about what I believe you should be doing with your money if you're under 20 years of age. This is one I do ask from a lot of people, especially in their teens. Parents aren't giving advice, and look, the most common advice parents give is just save. And to be honest, why are you saving? The people don't really know. People don't really know. If you're under 20 years of age, you don't really know how much of anything you should be doing with any money. So it's something that this is why I'm doing this video, so people actually understand. And obviously, when you're 20 or even over 20, this is sort of something you still should be also thinking about as well in life. Like, it's something that I've really taken on board. I didn't really take it on board until low 20s. And to be honest, I'm looking back now and I go, okay, I probably should have done a little bit more research into it. The information is out there. It's just people don't like talking about money. And it's sort of something that you kind of got to understand a little bit. For some reason people don't like talking about money. It's because people get jealous of other people creating bigger wealth than you. My next recommendation of what I reckon you should be doing if you're around 20 years of age or under or a little bit older. People don't judge you for driving a $500 car. Now, if you're 50 and you're driving a $500 car, it's a completely different story. People do judge you. So this is an easy way to try and save a little bit of extra money. If you got a $10,000 car, you don't need a $10,000 car. It is nice to have a $10,000 car. It could be a $30,000 car, whatever it is. People won't judge you for driving a $500 piece of crap, essentially. Yeah. So that's another way you can try and save money. Most people at this age are generally going to be studying or have an apprenticeship, working part-time, all of those sorts of things, which is normally pretty common. So you're not going to be accumulating, big amount of wealth at this sort of age. There is the odd person at 20 years of age that, is a full qualified tradesman. It does happen every now and again, but it's not super common. How would I recommend to spend your wage when you're studying full-time? Now, obviously full-time, you're not going to be accumulating a massive amount of hours, because realistically the only time you can work would be after hours or on the weekend. So you're probably going to be earning $200 to $300. So let's say you're earning $300 because it's a little bit easier to deal with at the moment. Now, so let's say if you're studying full-time, I would like to hope that your parents are helping you out with your bills, whether it's rent or if they provide you accommodation, whatever it is, helping you contribute to your bills. That's going to be probably the biggest thing that's really going to help you out here. So if you're earning $300 a week, I would take $100 of that and invest it. Now, we'll get back to that bit. So I'd spend $50 on fuel, because you're going to need fuel to drive around in your $500 car. So it's going to cost you something to drive around in. $50 on miscellaneous. So whether you go out, go drinking with your friends, or go get food with your friends, whatever it is. Put another $50 towards bills to help contribute towards bills that your parents are hopefully trying to help you with as well. Now, why no savings? So if you think about it, right, your bills aren't going to cost you a lot at this age. and your parents are going to help you with a lot of things at this age, I would hope. I certainly would hope for my parents to do it for me again, and I would certainly hope for your parents to do it for you again, especially if you're studying full time. So any extra money you get when you're working is like pocket money, essentially. So this is the way I look at it. Now, what to do with that $100? So versus your savings. So this is one I have sort of mentioned a little bit in some of my earlier videos. Look, if you've got a big amount of money invested, especially in the stock market, it's really easy to turn it into cash. So you don't necessarily need to have much in terms of savings. Now, when you get a little bit older, I do recommend you do need to have some kind of money as backup, like an emergency fund. And that's for, like, you lose your job, you can't work for 6 months, whatever it is. So therefore you've got money there that you can use and manipulate to try and get something out of somewhere without withdrawing on your investments. Now, so that's sort of something that I do actually recommend. However, at this age, it's not really a big priority thing to have a massive amount of savings. You can have a little bit, like $1,000 or $2,000. That's more than enough at this sort of age, I do recommend. So my investments for this type are, you're normally going to be ETFs for this sort of person, unless you're going to put a lot of effort into research to be able to invest into the stock market as well. Right, so now let's move on to an apprentice. So someone who is working full time, look, there is more hours in a day. You can still work on the weekend if you wanted to, but you don't want to revolve your life around work. So you're probably going to be earning anywhere between $300 and $600 per week, and it's pretty much going to be exactly the same thing, except for the fact that because you're working full time, I do sort of expect your parents to maybe say, hey, you're earning a wage now, we aren't going to be able to support you anymore. Now, so especially at $600 a week, you can afford to live by yourself, especially in Australia. Maybe not everywhere in Australia, but you can certainly be able to afford it. Now, so the first $150 would be towards rent, like renting a room as example. The next $50 is going to be towards fuel, same thing as in my latest one as well. Another $50 towards miscellaneous, going out with friends, all of that sort of stuff. And then you'd be putting somewhere between $50 and $100 a week for bills as well. Now, the rest of the money, which can equate anywhere between sort of $50 and $200 a week, I would invest that money. Now, again, no savings. Now, in this case, I do recommend trying to have somewhat savings. Trying to have, probably at least $2,000 worth of savings in case you do write your car off or any of those sorts of things as well. Life isn't costing you super expensive, so that's going to be one of those things that I would recommend. Look, you're going to need something, but you don't need a lot. So please take that into account as well. It's not a recommendation. Obviously, I'm not a finance advisor, but this is how I would go about it if I was to do it again. Now, if you can keep to this strategy in terms of how you're going about everything from week to week, and if you look at everything as week to week, not so much long term, because long term you might get a little bit lost sighted, especially at this sort of age. It's pretty hard to go, I've got $5,000 in the bank at this sort of age. You can get a little bit sort of lost, and I have seen people spend money that they probably shouldn't have spent in that sort of side of things as well. So if you keep yourself to this strategy, you will set yourself up massively at this age, like massively in life. I can guarantee, I can put money on it, the fact that your parents wished they did this more at your age. I can guarantee you it. Now, they won't tell you that because they would like you to have more fun at your age, because they obviously didn't have as much fun as what they would have liked to either. So they didn't quite save the money that they wanted, but they also didn't quite have as much fun as what they wanted. So it's sort of something that, parents are probably going to be on both sides of the coin. However, if you stick to this strategy, your parents will wish that they did exactly the same thing as you too. Now, to give yourself an idea of where money can grow to and from, especially like $50, $100 or $200 a week, I will put a link in the description below for an investment calculator, and you can put in, say $100 a week, which I think it's only got monthly from memory, so you can put, say, $400 in there a month and put 10% return over 5 years or 3 years or however long, or even 8 years or 10 years if you wanted to. And you can sort of get yourself a bit of an idea of how easily money can grow in the stock market as long as you're consistent and holding. If you're putting money in, pulling it out, putting money in, pulling it out, you will lose money over the short term. So I will put a link in my previous videos for my latest buy recommendations, or how I recommend you should go about your investing, in terms of, if you're putting in $100 every week or whatever it is, or even, if you're accumulating $100 or $50 or $20 a week, whatever it is, and then putting it in every quarterly, so every 3 months. So I'll link some of those videos in my description for you as well. So that'll do it for today, guys. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It really does help out the channel. And yeah, cool. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.